Back to the zombies. Zombie LSU plays its first game since the firing of Brian Kelly at Alabama. Alabama's a 10.5-point favorite. We talked about last week Zombie Florida being potentially dangerous to Georgia. We talked just a few minutes ago about Zombie Auburn being potentially dangerous to Vanderbilt. I do not feel the same way about Zombie LSU that I feel about Zombie Auburn and Zombie Florida. Is that fair?
Well, just extrapolate on why.
Okay. I don't see a huge difference based on the changes that have been made. Now, they are going to have Alex Atkins calling plays instead of Joe Sloan. Alex Atkins was the OC at Florida State for 3 years, but he did not call plays. Mike Norvell was calling plays. He did call plays at Charlotte for 1 year, and they made a bowl game that year. That's the only time Charlotte has made a bowl game in its history as a football program, I believe. So he was good as a play caller in his 1 year doing it. The question I have is, will he attempt to establish the run? Will he not abandon the run? Because that was something that Joe Sloan had a bad habit of doing. But the other question is, does it matter? Because I think Alabama's just a lot better than them.
Yeah. I think that if you were to ask an LSU fan if there's any major differences this week, that Alex Atkins calling plays gives them a reason to hope. Because their number one battering or punching bag has been Joe Sloan all year. So if you get the person that you think is running an incompetent offense out of the building, then you have a chance to see something that might be different. And the one thing that I will say too, Andy, is that, and I don't know how much this comes to play in Auburn with Hugh Freeze, but we alluded to this on the picks video we did about this game a few days ago, or yesterday, I should say, is that I don't know how well liked Brian Kelly was in the building. And I don't know if there is a attitude adjustment that happens when the person that's not liked leaves. I don't know how well liked Hugh Freeze was. And that's why another reason why Auburn, Zombie Auburn is more demented to even think about is that maybe there is a attitude lift in the building just from the sake of having a change and trying
Zombie
something
LSU
new.
might have that too. I mean, at least all the stories that have come out about Brian Kelly, you'd think the players would enjoy playing for Frank Wilson more and playing for this administration more. The last time we saw LSU playing under an interim coach was Coach O, because remember, Coach O there was no interim coach after, I guess, Brad Davis for the bowl game. But when Coach O got fired, they let him finish out the season. But the vibes did lift after Les Miles got fired and Coach O came in. So perhaps that happens, but I still don't know if this team's good enough to beat Alabama, even if everybody feels great about themselves.
Yeah. This has been one of the most iconic matchups on the annual basis. In the SEC and just in college football in general. Think about how many iconic games were played between these two teams. And I think that a point you made on Sunday, which I really do think there's something to it, is that a lot of the players on LSU's roster have grown up, loving LSU, loving Louisiana, having pride in where they're from. A lot of them were recruited by Alabama and chose LSU. I think there's hatred in this game that can, help be a motivating factor, even if the season is out the window. I think Alabama's a much better team this year, without question. They've put that on, but 12.5 points in this game, when you have the wild card of maybe they'll do something offensively that they haven't been able to do this year, is kind of an enticing thing. So I want to lay the points here, but I also feel like it's a lot. Help me through it. I'm struggling. I don't know which way to go. Obviously whatever I pick is going to be wrong, but part of me just wants to take LSU and see what happens, because also is Alabama just going to
what has LSU shown you that when you get in a 3rd and 3 against Ty Simpson, that Ty Simpson's not going to carve you up?
Nothing.
Okay. That's the thing.
I just overthink stuff sometimes. I think what has LSU shown you offensively that makes you think they could score 20 points in a game? Nothing. But a lot of times you bet on games and things happen that you didn't see coming. And I'm trying to get ahead of that.
Well, yeah, I don't think this is one of those spots that you talk about.
Yeah. Do we think Alabama's just going to run through the SEC and not trip again?
I think Alabama Zombie Auburn could be interesting. And then remember, Alabama's got to play Oklahoma next week too.
Yeah. All right.
Alabama gets Oklahoma at home.
I'm going to lay the points. I'll go with you on Alabama.
Yeah, I'm taking Alabama here. I can't. I picked one zombie group. I won with Zombie Florida last week. Zombie Florida covered. So
yeah, what a win for you, bud. Congratulations. You're smart.
Hey, Gunnar Stockton made the smart play.
Was it a
That
catch
was the smart
or not
play.
a catch? I don't know. I wasn't there.
Well, if it was a catch, then
would've
they
helped you
definitely
even
were going
more.
to cover. So yeah, so it's fine. I am struggling to find the path for LSU in this game. If they're playing somebody else, I might feel differently, but I struggle to find the path against Alabama in Tuscaloosa. The Black Hoodie of Death it remains unstoppable. So
Yep.
yeah, give me Alabama minus 10.5.
I'll go with you.